congratulations on your decision to be a part of the Hyderabad Bird Atlas. No one has attempted this before. There have been a few surveys earlier, but these were very different from an atlas. Most of the surveys were basically collecting camps where birds were shot and they became specimens for museum collections. For a long time, that was how birds were studied. These surveys were for the erstwhile state of Hyderabad and also the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh state were few and far between. They indicated the species that occurred in those areas at that point in time. Atlases aim at mapping the distribution of birds across a predetermined geographical area. You know, we all believe that the world that we see around us has always been like this. The photos that you will see now will awaken you to the reality that everything changes. Could I have the first picture, please? This was taken in the early 90s, late 80s or early 90s. That's Captain N.S. Tayyabji in the center. He spearheaded the WWF chapter in Hyderabad at that time, and that is a group of bird watchers. And you will not believe what this location is. It is road number 10, Banjara Hills. Can I have the next one? Same area today. This is what change looks like when it happens. And there is a term called generational amnesia. Amnesia, when the present generation feels that whatever they see around them is what it has been like all along. But that is not so. And if we don't keep a record, whether pictorial or written, of what we have seen in the past, then this, you will suffer the future from this point onwards. That's why recording is very important. I'll show you another picture. Can I have the other one? Third picture. There you are. Today, if people see two vultures in one place or three vultures, they are so excited that they have seen so many vultures. This is in Vanasthalipuram, the dump. We used to see 100 to 150, even 200 vultures there at one time. If this photograph was not there, today's bird watchers would not believe that there were so many birds around Hyderabad. So these are examples that, record keeping help in the future. Now, coming to the atlas, as you all know that more people live in urban areas today than in rural areas, covering large. So these urban areas cover large swathes of land. How is this environment affected by them and their hyperutilization of natural resources? So many people living in this area use a lot of natural resources. And how is the environment affected by using all those resources only for humans? There are non-humans also living there. A diverse fauna and flora indicates a fairly stable environment. But do we have a benchmark to compare it with? An atlas sets such a benchmark. An atlas can preempt policy decisions that will upset ecological balance of local nature. I hope a time will come when our government guarantees its citizens a certain diversity of non-human life within geographical areas in its election manifesto. Through this atlas, you will create a document that they will depend upon. So this atlas, as you all know and will know in this talk by others, requires just a very little amount of your time in a year. And it's a long-term project, so you have to stay with it. And the results of atlases are just phenomenal and fantastic. You can go online and check atlases that have been done across countries. You can see the US, North American atlas, you can see the British atlas, and your eyes will be opened as to what people like you and me can achieve by just spending a few hours in a year trying to record the birds or the butterflies or whatever that atlas is for of their region. So all the best to all of you. Please carry on from here.
Thank you, Ashish. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Sriram.
Yeah. So thank you. That's a wonderful introduction by Ashish. But the first thing Ashish introduced Atlas was in 2018, actually, when I met him during our celebrations. So he is the one who said that why don't we do Bird Atlas for Hyderabad? So during that period, I was the one. I don't know what a class is actually. That is the first term I heard from Ashish. I think this is one reason why we are doing it. It is because it's Ashish persistence over the years that Hyderabad should have at last. That is also one reason we wanted to do. At last, here it is Ashish, which is happening now. I hope we'll do it for, even though we set our target for 3 years, we are planning to do it for 5 years. Let's see. So, okay, so I'll keep this session brief so that because we have a series of sessions which are coming up, which will be much longer when compared to with today's session. So anything which what Ashish mentioned, right? Any bird atlas can be made for a city or a district or any state for the entire country. So in India, very few cities have done, and only one state till now has completed the entire bird atlas. Kerala is the first state in India which has done state bird atlas, whereas few cities which have done, Coimbatore has done, Mysore has done, Pune has done. Okay, and Goa is coming up with the state atlas. And after this, I think 2025, you'll see many more cities are going to start board atlas. Delhi and Hyderabad, anyway, we're going to do, and Ahmedabad. These are some of the cities which felt that importance of atlas is very important. That's the reason many more cities is going to start this. So what exactly Atlas will demonstrate is the presence of the birds, okay, in a spatial view. You'll see when I show some of the examples of Kerala and Mysore in the next slides, you will understand what exactly they demonstrate was the presence of a bird species in an area. In our case, it's the Hyderabad, and it abundance. Abundance is nothing else but the population of that species, and whether they're breeding in this region or not is what we are going to see. So bird atlases are usually valuable tools not only for scientists, conservation and policy makers. It is also important for us to understand important where are the birding areas which are there in the city, right? We are going to find out. So usually all the bird atlases are citizen science projects, even though it is a lot of research is needed for this. Citizens is what is going to be driven. Even our Hyderabad bird atlas, it's completely driven by citizen science. So, as I mentioned previously, Bird Atlas is going to show the bird distribution. And it is very important because as we are going to do it for a very long period, 3 to 5 years is a minimum period. I mean, 3 years is the minimum period. We will monitor the changes of bird population across the time. That is very important because you have seen Ashish showing how are the vultures during Vanaslipuram, which is hard to see it now is one example. Similarly, you might have, when I started bird watching 10 years back, I used to see Indian rollers within the city. Now they are slightly moving away. So those kind of changes you wanted to observe, it could happen to any species, which is very common now, may become rare in time. So it is important to document those things. That is the reason bird atlases are very important for that. Apart from that, right now we have very few birding hotspots inside the city. Like we all talk about Sanjay Park, we all talk about Usman Sagar and other Aminpur and all that. During the bird atlas, since we explore the much larger areas in the Hyderabad, we might find very interesting birding areas. That is one of the reasons. Apart from that, as the city is expanding beyond ORR, beyond some ORR, right? We can actually, once we do this bird atlases, it will help for planning the city in future. It will be very useful for that. Apart from that, we can also use it for conservation planning, assess the distribution. Sometimes this data can be used for protection of lakes. We all know how rapidly the habitats are getting destroyed. All this can be used. Whatever we are going to do is going to help in future. That is the reason bird atlases are very critical, especially for cities like Hyderabad. So these are a couple of examples. On the left side, you can see Mysore city atlas, where it shows they also follow all we are going to follow is the same process. Okay, and the right side is the Kerala Bird Atlas, where they actually mention each and individual species across the space. In this case, the Kerala map, how they are distributed. I just took a screenshot of Indian P4, how it is getting distributed in Kerala Bird Atlas. And ultimately, we will be doing it for Hyderabad. For each and every species, we are going to map across the Hyderabad map and see how they are distributed across this. And how is their abundance. You can see on the left side, right, how they are present. So this is the ultimate aim of what we are going to achieve after a year, after a two. Okay, now what exactly is Hyderabad Bird Atlas? You all know, right? You are hearing about HBA, but what exactly is that? So as I told you, it is a citizen science project. All the data which we are going to be driven by us, okay, and it is actually we are doing it. The documentation is done in a systematic way. Systematic is the main important term you should remember here, because we are going to follow the standard protocol which was set by all the all the cities and states which have done has followed the same protocol, and we are going to follow the same protocol for documenting the bird species in the state. Okay, as I mentioned, that Coimbatore, Mysore, Pune has done, so we are going to follow that. Now the this bird atlas, we are going to do it twice in a year for the next 3 years. Winter, which is February, is what our first bird survey is going to happen. So we took ORR as a limit for this survey. So idea is to identify all the habitats which are selected randomly. Random is the main important term here, because we cannot pick up our own locations. It's everything whatever we're going to see in later screens. It is all picked by randomly. All the landscapes, woodlands, grasslands, whatever we're going to see has to be picked randomly. So that's the reason this is important to understand. So as part of this, we're going to cover 11% of the entire city. Okay, forget about the first three. You just remember that the entire ORR region, we are going to cover 11% of the city area. Okay, and I'm going to show this link, you'll understand. So this is what whatever is being highlighted in orange are the ones we are going to survey. So you will know more about this as you go through some of the next training sessions. So imagine that we are going to cover 11% of all Hyderabad, which is going to cover most of the wetlands. We are going to cover all the 11% area. You can see some has in woodland, some are in lakes, some are in dries, and most of them are in the city limits, urban landscapes. So it's important to actually document uh, all the habitats in the city. That's the important thing. Ultimately, 180 cells which are identified. Remember, 11% is the area which we are going to cover, and 180 areas or points which we are going to cover, which are called subcells. These terms you will keep on hearing in all the sessions where you're going to see. Ultimately, we are going to create 720 checklist. So that's the high level at this. We'll go deep into this when we discuss the protocol. That comes in a later sessions. So what are the timelines? I think we are done with the volunteer registration phase, which happened in November. Now December entire will be dedicated for volunteer training. These trainings are especially useful for the volunteers who are completely new to bird watching. So this is one thing you should keep in remember. All the training sessions, we planned 8 training sessions. In that, 6 are dedicated for the new bird watchers. 2 are important for each and every volunteer, which I'll talk about that later. But 8 training sessions are planned in January, and also the first couple of weeks of 8 trainings in December and couple of trainings in January. So January we'll use it for the protocol following and also dry runs before we do our survey, which was planned in February. So this again you'll see, and we are planning to give a generate report in March 2025. That's the actual high level timelines we set ourselves for this. Now, why we need volunteer training? Because now I think you all know, congratulations, we had 222 volunteer registrations, which is a big achievement actually. So in that 622, almost 425 members opted for training in birdwatching, eBird and Merlin. So that is also one reason. And also look at the birding experience, where actually 50% people are less than 1 year's experience, or zero experience, and also less than 1 year's experience. That's the reason we planned everything based on the experience. We wanted to take the 0% experienced people to get to a level where they can understand how to document birds, what are the basics of birds and everything. All the training programs are planned for that. Now, okay, now when it comes to Hyderabad birds, till now, as per eBird, 275 species of birds have been documented in eBird. So, which we segregate into multiple habitats. We have wetland birds, non-specialized birds are the birds which can be seen everywhere. So, and some open habitat birds, forest birds, and other stuff. So, the trainings are based on the habitat. So, we picked up each and every habitat and tried to train in that habitat. So you'll see all whatever you're going to see, the trainings are based on the habitat. Okay, now the first, these are different trainings which are going to happen. First training, not first session is not about the birds, but we are all going to meet on Saturday 7th at KBR to see each other and also give a peek into what exactly is bird watching. That's more like a meet. Each and every person who has volunteered for this exercise, we can all meet at KBR. The second session is the main one where we introduce the basics of bird identification, and also we'll introduce common birds of Hyderabad, whatever is in. These are what the generalist birds which I talked about. All the common birds which are seen in Hyderabad will be introduced. This is a very important session. Don't miss this session. This session will be slightly longer, almost like 2 to 3 hours is what is being planned on Sunday. Next will be woodland bird session by Gopal will be taking care of this session. So it's on Thursday, 12th. Next is a wetland birds identification. This one will be taken care by Anita. Anita, she's going to lead this session when it comes to the wetland birds. After that, we have grassland and shrub birds identification. All these are planned before Christmas so that you can enjoy your Christmas holidays. So the first 5 sessions, please, all the new persons who are completely new for bird watching should attend this. Okay. And sixth session is about the usage of Merlin and eBird. So this is also for new beginners. You can see that. But if person who are actually completely know into bird watching, you can skip these first 6 sessions. You can directly come for the 7th and 8th sessions, which are important. These are mandatory two trainings for everyone. Okay, seventh is the main thing where we discuss about the protocol, survey protocol, what we are going to follow. This is a standard protocol which was set, which was followed by all the cities, other cities and states which has followed. So we are going to follow the same thing. Okay, and then eighth is where we are going to do whatever we learned across all the first 7 sessions. We're going to implement on the eighth one, where we'll go to a location, fieldwork where we try to implement all the survey protocols, what we learned, test it before our actual survey. Now, okay, so apart from that, we already shared these eBird and mailing resources. You can, without any training, you can actually look into these self-taught YouTube videos, which is approximately hardly 30 minutes. You can go through these videos, understand about eBird and Merlin. Even though we talk about this in a separate session, you can go through these videos on your own. It's very easy to understand and self-explanatory also. Okay, now once you learned, you wanted to attend, right? There are every in a month, WWF, HBP, and also Deccan Birders, they conduct bird walks. Okay, and WWF have monthly bi-monthly dates which they'll be announced. Hyderabad Birding Park, they do Sunday bird walks every Sunday. This Sunday, it will be at zoo. You can be part of that and try to learn some of the things in the bird walks. Okay, and Deccan Waters does monthly. I think some of you might have attended the first December bird walk. And they also do a bird race in February. That also can be used to learn more about that. And then also important, in January, we have AWC surveys. Every year it happens. So you can be part of that to learn more about, it's more about wetland birds. So identification, all the wetlands in Telangana will be explored and documented. So, okay, this is very short section. You can, if you have questions, you can raise. Probably you can ask questions. Whatever doubts you have, we'll try to answer here. And also, don't forget to follow us to get more updates about Hyderabad Bird Atlas. Apart from, anyway, you are there in WhatsApp group, but along with that, just follow and promote these social media accounts. Any questions? We see. Let me see.
Yeah, so we have a couple of questions, Sriram.
Okay.
What other benefits we believe could be achieved with Bird Atlas, beside knowing about bird density, etc.?
Okay, so I think I touched upon saying that city planning, as I mentioned, that Hyderabad is expanding. Okay, we know that it is expanding at a rapid pace. So this is more useful on the ORR limits. So now, if you see, there is a lot of vacant space in ORR limits. If we find a good amount of what is it, habitats in that location, the planning from the city planning can be done around that. The parks, what is the planning of parks and everything can be around that. And also some of the things, protection of that places can also happen if we find some interesting species which are threatened species. IUCN, and I will get more about this thing. Every species has an IUCN status or the protection status. If a place has less high protection species, that place can be protected because we have data now. Now, the biggest problem with any place in Hyderabad or any place in Telangana for protection, the biggest challenge is we don't have proper data. So data is almost everything. Whatever you wanted to do, data is important. How to use the data is the second thing. Whether for the forest department can use, the urban planning can be done, or some conservation who wants to protect some place, they can use it. We get a lot of requests, not only this, even Hyderabad, and I'm sure Deccan Waters may get a request saying that somebody might be requesting them saying that in our region there is some quarrying which is happening. Can you provide some data? These are some of the requests Hyderabad Boarding Pass usually get, and we didn't, in some areas wherever they mentioned, we haven't done the survey. If we have it, then probably it is available for them to fight their cause. So as a bird watchers, right, it is our duty to give data, and whoever wants to use in whatever way they can for protection and everything, they can do that. And not only that, even the real estate people who are planning now, they are planning to include birds, as they're trying to give importance for that also, apart from the construction of whatever they're going to do. Okay, any other questions? Please free to ask. I think I saw some couple of
Yeah, I
hands.
think so. One question is, what is the long-term objective of Bird Atlas?
So as I mentioned,
Almost
right,
the
long-term
same.
objectives is not, see, you can do whatever you want once you have data. So as simple as that, you need to document whatever is there. You can show, like as Ashish Petty has shown a picture. What if that picture is not there? The next generation will think that there are no birds, no vultures in this, right? That is what the aim is, just to know what happened and how we are destroying. That's all a reminder for protection of the species. Everything, we are so self-centered across our humans that we forget that there is many other things which are needs to be protected, but we are worried about how the birds are useful for us, but it should be reverse actually, how we are going to help the avian or the habitats, whatever is there. Yeah, I think Chitra has raised her hand. uh, yeah, Chitra, you can speak.
Did I? I did not raise my hand. I'm sorry.
I saw, okay, I saw your hand raised. Okay, okay,
Her hand is raised last time she joined.
Awesome, awesome.
okay. I think with a couple of hands I saw. Okay, Shobha. Okay, Shobha, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. You spoke about protection of certain species. So how exactly we are going to protect them?
How could we? Okay, so now the protection is not in our hands, but the thing is how we can protect is by giving the data. Okay, there are many people who are fighting for even the smallest of species. Okay, but as a bird watcher, right? As or if we want to fight, we can fight. But the thing is giving data. Now, recently, you might be hearing about Chevalla banyan tree, right? So how we are planning to protect Chevalla banyan trees is through data only. Till now, there is no data to show that what birds are there in Chevalla banyan trees. Now, we did a survey last year or this year April, to come with the data which can help to protect the trees. So this is one example I'm saying. Whether we are protecting or not is a big story. But at least as bird watchers, whether are we helping or not is the main thing. So unless we have data, there is no protection, Shobha. Okay, and you see, right, many examples. I even though I'm picking a wrong example, Great Indian Bustard, you can go for protection because the numbers are so drastically less. You have high chances of fighting. If at all, we have seen some species which are endangered or vulnerable or some critically, and I'm not sure whether we can find a critically endangered bird in Hyderabad, but at least you can see some vulnerable or endangered species which actually can you have a better chance of fighting for that habitat. If we find some other protected species in any habitat, you have a valid reason to fight for that place.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, as I mentioned, right, we have series of sessions. So, but you might have a question saying that, okay, you said it is only 2 hours of effort, but here you are showing December, January, you're blocking everything. But if somebody who is interested to learn, but you don't have time, we are recording these sessions. You can see it on your leisure time. Or somebody who has known everything, he wants to participate in the Atlas, you can just follow, attend the protocol session, which is will give you the schedule when it will just attend that session protocol and then participate for the survey. That's the end reason. Ultimately, we wanted at least 2 hours of effort from each of you in February to complete this thing. Also remember that once we are done with the first survey, which is planned in February, so we need to do it twice in a year, as I mentioned, right? Twice in a year for the next 3 years. Of course, we will get more participants again. So, but we have to continue. Remember that this has to be a long-term commitment uh, to make a difference. Okay, 3 years is what we are planning. Hopefully, we'll do it for 5 years. Any other questions? No, I know it is a short session, definitely. But the thing is, be prepared for longer sessions because bird identification sessions will be longer and lots of questions will definitely come during the session.
Shriram, there are questions on what is the kind of infrastructure slash equipment they will need for this. So maybe you want to.
Okay, so now anyway, that we are going to cover in bird watching sessions, but I'll tell you at high level. So you don't need anything in this case, but all you need was a binoculars if you can afford. If not, that is also fine. You can come with a pen and a book and start recording. You can mobile is important definitely because to navigate to the cell which is given to you, you need to use mobile. To go to a cell or the area which is given to you, you need to go there, spend some time, walk around, important, follow the protocol, what we are going to discuss in future sessions. So follow the protocol, document the birds. In eBird is the platform. Again, we'll discuss about what is an eBird in the subsequent sessions. And then enjoy the whatever 1 hour of birding effort, which we're going to do it in a day. So that's the thing. You don't need any specific equipment. If you have binoculars, that is more than enough. People who are going to help you, team leads will going to help you for your team. And importance is to hear. Obviously, you can hear and see the birds, right? That is more than enough. We'll also talk about the details. What is it? Equipment. The some of the like Google, customized Google Maps, which are done for this, all will be discussed in subsequent sessions. Yeah. Yeah, you can speak,
Hello.
I think. Devnath.
Yeah. Are we allowed to bring our camera for this session, for this survey session,
Yeah,
to
so now,
photograph birds?
yeah, so that's actually depends on place where you are visiting. So there are we are foreseeing few problems. Okay, one problem could be you in some places you may not be if you can carry binoculars, that itself more than enough. But in some places you may also be asked not to use binoculars. It depends on which cell you are going. In some cells, you can carry everything. Even the camera can also be carried. But remember that you will be doing some cells are in the middle of the city, and you need to be careful with when people go with camera and binoculars, right? Some people might object, and based on how you convince them, you can use them. Some places you can carry all the things. Cameras are must for some places which are slightly away. In the middle of city, binoculars are good enough. There is no mandatory stuff that you need to carry by camera. In some cases, it
No, it's
depends on
just
the birds which you're
for
going
my
to.
own,
Pardon?
for my own interest. Like I want
Yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
if I
You're
want
right.
to
Yeah. You are
capture,
ready
yeah,
to carry. Yeah, yeah. That's always the case. You can carry your camera, but remember that where you are going. So, and let's say some
understood.
places, right? It will be inside the community. So you need to just check with them whether they allow cameras inside or not. Based on that, you can carry. Okay. And remember that some
Thank you.
species need documentation. Documentation is in the form of audio recording or photographs. Let's say some species which are critical, right? Which are rare in for our region needs documentation, or else those data may be invalidated in later. That's those we'll discuss in the later sessions.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So one question, Sriram.
Yeah.
In the Q&A, other than categorization of mainly woodlands, grasslands, etc., can we, over the years when the survey is done, add more data on the habitats too?
Yeah. So yeah, that is the trainings are based on the habitat. Okay, the only we divided the trainings based on the habitat. So we divide, since you see we know that as I mentioned 275 species, they are categorized into important habitats. So and the trainings has to have some meaning, right? So that's the reason we categorize them into different habitats, and we'll try to slowly include species based on the habitat, and ultimately the aim is to cover everything. Praveen has some question. Yeah. Praveen, you can speak. Am I?
You may need to unmute him.
Yeah, I'm actually trying that. Can somebody try? I think I
No,
unmuted
he has
others.
to. He has to still be unmuted himself
Yeah.
on his screen. Praveen, you have to unmute on your screen.
Or you type your question. That also you can do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to unmute him, but he's done.
So Chitra is asking about the grid details. Sriram, I think so. We will share it in the subsequent sessions, right?
Yeah, we're going to share. So grid will be shared immediately, Chitra. Only we are not sharing it because some cells we might replace because some has fallen into protected areas like airport and some, because since we, as I mentioned, right, all the grid cells has to be selected randomly. Some have fallen into protected areas. We are going to replace and give it to you. But if you want to have a look, I'll give you that I'll be sharing with everybody. You can happily go through, see what grid cells are falling. And also it's important if some of you can give your feedback on the cells, whether they are accessible or not. That will help us for planning also. Probably, I think, Kishore, we can share that. with all the participants, and probably their feedback is also important to plan.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Praveen, you are on mute only. You can.
1 minute. Hello.
Yeah, you can speak, Praveen.
Yeah. I have a question with the categorization. Can we have also taken care of the nocturnal birds?
No, actually, the entire uh, what I mean to say was the survey will be done in a standard protocol. In that case, we decided the survey will be done only in the morning at 6
Okay.
to 10 in the morning.
Oh,
But
okay.
we will be covering some nocturnal birds which are seen in the daytime also. Could
Right.
be Indian nightjar will be covered. I'll talk about some owls, spotted owlets, brown owls, some of the things which are possible in the city limits will be discussed. Even mottled owl will be discussed. Okay, but we are not going to do survey at night. The times are fixed. Protocol set says that
I
we
got it.
start at 6 and end by 10.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? You can ask. I think there will be, I'm expecting some basic questions because I see a lot of new persons. As I told you, right, Ashish, when he said Atlas, I had no clue what exactly is Atlas in 2018. Okay. I am pretty sure many of you had the same question now. Okay. Which I asked him. And as I mentioned, right, it's always good whenever I speak with Ashish, he comes up, he always tells me new stuff, which is a more like a learning experience. Even now, whenever I meet, it's like an encyclopedia where he shares his knowledge and we just take it from him. Farida, you want to add something?
Yeah, sorry, Sriram, for the chaos and I got stuck in a very bad traffic today. I don't know. Toli Choki is really mad. So nothing to add. I think everything is covered. It's just that volunteers who are here, and I already see that from 188 we have dropped to 156. Please don't start dropping off like this. You have to keep the tempo till the actual day of the survey. I know everybody is joined. We have good numbers on the group, also almost close to 622. But it is important to stick till the actual survey starts and try to come for all the sessions. And because it's going to be one of the greatest contribution you all are going to make. So I would urge you all to stay for the entire period of this till the survey culminates, until we have a first Hyderabad Bird Atlas out. So even those of you who have joined as groups, I think college students also have joined. It is important to be there till the last. Only then you will be able to understand the entire gravity of what you are contributing to. It's just not a hobby, it's just not a volunteering thing, but it's something very significant that you're going to contribute to. So that is very important to understand. So that's all from my side, Shriram.
Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah. Gokul raised. Yeah, Gokul.
Hey, Sriram, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just had a point. I know that, you guys are organizing this in a wonderful way. Good planning has gone into it. And I really appreciate that we guys are finally doing it. It's been pending or rather overdue now. The one suggestion that I have is, can we do the mandatory sessions first, where we kind of go through the grid areas? The reason I say that is if we do that first, it might help the people who are within the local vicinity, who are in a close by areas. They can form groups at a very early stage, and maybe it will help, if one of them is missing the session, the other can just explain them, and it would help on a longer run, because it's going to be a 3-year thing, and we are going to do it at least for 1 hour or 2 hours in a month and so on. So that bond and everything would help in a long way. So it's just a suggestion. Please think of it for yourself, and if you feel it might be good, go ahead with it.
Yeah. So the team selection will be done in the December itself, but there is no point doing protocol right now because many people are completely new. So they should understand what exactly is bird watching. and then get them up to speed with some of the bird identification thing. And then anyway, we are planning to do it in February. Protocol session is pretty straightforward. All we need to do was follow it. But the thing is, the protocol will be shared. All the documents, whatever we're going to share, right? The grids will be shared immediately as soon as possible in 1 or 2 weeks. It will be shared with everybody. But the entire training of the protocol and everything will be done only after the end of all the training sessions. But
Okay.
you are free to actually, I think already Gautam is working on team division and everything. He's going to do it, and he'll be shared. You'll hear more about the teams. Okay. We already thought about how to divide and everything. We also have a standard we followed guidelines for dividing the teams. So we know that you all opted which areas you wanted to cover, right? And also some people have opted for any location. So we'll be dividing teams quickly, but whether you'll hear it or not, we'll let you know. But you are free to see if you want, I can share you the protocol.
I
Who,
already have them, Sriram. We have discussed about this. I'm good
yeah,
that.
so you
I'm
can do
good there.
that. But the thing is, after bird watching trainings only, we'll do the protocol training, which is in
Fair
January.
enough. Understood your point.
Any other questions? Okay, then I hope it's important for the new people to attend the training sessions, sure. And as I mentioned, that whatever I'm presented today will be shared with you all. See the schedule. If you are unavailable for some of those trainings, the sessions will be recorded. Go through at your own pace and keep asking questions. You can also reach out to who are the point of contacts for each group. You can reach out to us. Okay. If no further question, okay, one more person raised his hand. Yeah, Akhil.
How will the sessions which are being done live be recorded?
This is recorded now, which will be kept in YouTube. You can, like I mentioned, right? I didn't mention here for YouTube link, but I'll also give you YouTube channel details where all the recordings will be kept there, Akhil, in the YouTube channel of Hyderabad Bird Atlas.
So to Akhil, to answer your question, the live sessions, obviously like a KBR park session will not be recorded, right? That cannot be recorded.
Okay. Okay, then thank you. I am looking forward to see you all on 7th, which we are going to meet physically and KBR. Farida, I think at 7:30 is what we are planning. Please come and see each other, and probably on that day we can also do some board work, understand learn something. It is also for an hour or 1.5 hours, not more than that, and also attend the sessions, all the birding sessions which are planned for you. Okay. Okay, Sagarika raised an hand. Yeah, Sagarika.
Yeah, Sriram, hi, Sagarika here.
Yeah, hi.
I just asked the question in the box also and I got a reply, but if you're doing a bird atlas, what about the night birds? Yeah, I mean, I know you said 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., but we have nightjars, we have owlets, no?
Yeah. So you have a right question. The thing is, we are hoping to see them in the daytime itself. So we already know what owls are possible. Okay, again, doing a night survey is more. It is not. Nobody has done that at night. But the thing is, you need to follow a completely different protocol. We don't want to do it for now. But we know what are the standard owls which are seen. Hopefully, we're going to see them in daytime and cover them.
Okay.
If we miss some important owl species which are already been documented, we'll try to see what can be done. But the protocol is fixed, Sagarika. We can't change anything around that.
Sure, I understand that, but yeah, I would think that maybe going forward we can.
Yeah. We'll think about that if anything can be done with the nocturnal one. But the survey, strict, the thing is we have followed the times 6 to 10.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Got
Okay.
that.
I think, Sriram, a lot of people had questions about cameras for the KBR trip. So we've written to the department. We'll see if they have. I've written specially to allow cameras. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that.
Hopefully, I think we'll publish. Everybody is there in WhatsApp group. We'll give more details
Sure.
about the walk. I think maybe tomorrow or day after.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. It was nice interacting with you all. We'll meet again in the subsequent sessions.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.